This is Quentin,
And Anna.
and this is the
Q&A podcast.
Today we're here at the Mercer County Food Bank speaking with our special guest, Bailey Shepard.
Bailey is a 2018 eAcademy alumni, Teal College graduate, and strategic partnerships and program manager here at the Mercer County Food Bank.
Here at the food bank, they provide meals for those in need as well as bring awareness to food scarcity in our nation. Here, they supply over 3 million pounds in food annually.
So without further ado, let's get into it. Thank you so much, Bailey, for being here with us today.
Of course, thank you guys for having me.
So you are an eAcademy alumni, Teal College graduate. Tell our viewers a little bit about what you're doing now to still serve our community here at the food bank.
Yeah, so in my role here at the Mercer County Food Bank, I am the Strategic Partnerships and Programs Manager, which means I oversee all of our agencies. So that would be like food pantries, all of our programming, including specific programming for veterans, for children, for elderly, as well as anything technology related, which was super beneficial because of my time at eAcademy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, what inspired you to, go into the food bank route?
So I grew up very food insecure. So I always knew that this is what I wanted to do. I just had to figure out how to get here. So when I did eAcademy my senior year, it really helped me kind of get involved a little bit more in my community. And we actually started volunteering here every Friday when we had off. And so I started to build like a rapport and really got to know the need in our community.
And did you always have that like vision then going into college at Teal, like wanting to do something within this field?
Always wanted to do something in nonprofit work. Just didn't know if a possibility here was for me. But I had a bunch of internships during my time at Teal with local nonprofits. So being able to work and kind of flesh out really what my role was and what I envisioned for my life was super beneficial.
And a follow-up to that, what advice would you give to our viewers who are maybe just graduating for how do you find your spot within the workplace?
That's a really good question. So the one thing that I always say is if you just graduated college, really take that time and take a job that maybe you think that you would never expect. Because then you're going to learn so much about how you work within an office. I always also recommend if you can avoid working remotely for your first 2 years, that is key because you need to know what you should and shouldn't do in an office space. And that's something that I'm like, wow, I really wish I would have worked. Yeah, because I'm learning a lot of things now at 25 that I didn't know when I was 23 working my first office job.
No, that's great advice.
Yeah. What strategies have you found that or tips and tricks that maybe help get the community involved?
To get the community involved, it's really all about advocacy and trying to explain that this is a need, bringing the need right to their doorstep. So one of the big things that we do when we're looking for a new food pantry is we reach out to the church themselves, and then we hold like a mobile pantry, which is where we take food to that location and distribute it there. And a lot of the churches get to see the need in the community that maybe they didn't see before, and it really helps that buy-in. So that's how we get the community sort of involved on my side. I know that my coworkers do a great job with really trying to get kids and volunteer groups and local businesses involved in different ways. But yeah.
And what advice would you want to give to someone in the community who sees that need and also wants to get involved?
Contact us and start volunteering. My coworker Patty is like the best. We started actually the same day. So if you think that this is something for you, give us a call and she'd love to get you signed up.
That would be great. And talk a little bit about your impact and your reach here at the Mercer County Food Bank.
So we are the smallest food bank in the Feeding America network, and we have a staff of 10. Last year, we distributed over 3 million pounds, which is a lot for a small one-county food bank, and we service all of Mercer County. So it's not just the Shenango Valley. We're serving the Commodore Perrys, the different areas, the hard-to-reach areas, the rural, that maybe don't have a grocery store, or if the grocery store was open, it just recently closed. So we really try to bridge that gap between hunger and location.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would say that maybe set you guys apart from these other organizations or food banks?
So we're all on the same side here, like for hunger. What I believe that sets us apart from other food banks is that we're a small staff of 10 and we wear multiple hats. Pretty much everyone here is cross-trained within another person's role, and we're really good about working with each other and communication. We all get along very well, and I think that with a staff of 10, that's just imperative that everyone has to be on the same page and everyone has to work together to make sure there is no gaps, because if we're not doing our jobs, then neighbors don't get fed. Yeah.
No, thank you guys so much for the impact you do here. We're so grateful to have you here in the community and just the amazing things you've been able to do. So we appreciate that.
Thank you.
And kind of you touched upon your coworkers and having a small team but still being able to do powerful and big things. What would be like your advice to someone for like time management, teamwork, and just those strategies of interpersonal skills?
Always ask what you can do and see what you can learn from. So if there's something that maybe you're really interested in a job, and it's your first job out of college, maybe ask that person in that department, hey, I would love to see how you do this. I'm looking to learn. And that way you're building up your interpersonal communication style while also learning a new skill. And then time management, time is key. Time is powerful and is pretty much the most important thing that you can get at any business. So learning, maybe keeping a day calendar, keeping a Google calendar for all your meetings, making sure everything's interconnected so that way you're not running late. Everything's in there, and taking as much time off as possible too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So on that, what would be like your do's and don'ts for someone just entering the workplace?
Say good morning.
Okay.
And goodbye when you leave. Don't leave a mess at your desk or leave a mess in the kitchen. No one likes an office slob. No one likes that. Do ask questions. Don't assume the answer. That one's really important, because if you're brand new to an organization and you're just assuming things, for example, we do a lot of emergency calls here. So if neighbors in need food assistance, they call in here. It's imperative for us to know exactly where that neighbor is, if they have transportation, and any other issues that would limit them from getting food assistance that day. So we can't assume that this is where we need to send them. We need to ask those questions. You know what I mean?
Which I feel like for our generation especially, you're almost inclined to expect to know everything, where it's nice to hear that it's okay to ask questions and it's okay to not know everything at the same time.
Yeah.
It definitely is. Touching up on the interpersonal skills, would you say anything that you learned during the eAcademy or anything has helped guide those? Or
yeah, so I am an alum from 2018, and it's a pretty different program from when I was there in 2018. The big thing is I learned a lot through the personality test that we took at the very beginning of the year, and how I individually communicated and how I should communicate within a team. And then we also learned quite quickly that deadline and communication skills were key, because you're creating a whole business, putting together a plan, having different sections, learning all these different tools. So if you're not being able to manage or communicate, hey, I need this more out of you, then there was no winning. So I would say the eAcademy really helped with those difficult conversations. So that way now, as a 25-year-old in an office setting, I'm able to feel a little bit more comfortable, and I'm a lot more prepared about the college life, adult life, and more. Yeah.
And what was your business at the eAcademy?
It was called 3T. It was temper, temperature, temperance. It was a temperature controlled phone case that you could have when you were out skiing, so it wouldn't die or lose charge. So, but that took forever to decide on. So it was about figuring out what worked and what didn't work over and over and over again. I think that's important for young folks to know too.
Oh, for sure. And you're still very entrepreneurial, so do you think you're ever going to pick that idea back up?
That idea specifically, no.
We won't see the phone cases out on the ski slopes?
No. But you might see other ideas. I have a lot of different things that I'm working on right now, so stay tuned.
exciting to hear.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
On that note, is there any way that our viewers could get in contact with you or the food bank or anything? You want to plug anything like that?
So if you're looking to get in contact with me specifically, they'll be sharing my email here on the screen.
Yep.
And if you're looking to volunteer or get involved in any sort of way, our website is always the best way to reach out to us, especially volunteering. We're always in need of volunteers, and my coworker Patty would love to see your application.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Bailey, so much for joining us today on the Q&A podcast. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
So until next time, this is the Q&A
Q&A.
podcast.
2, 3, ho!